Hey, hey, hi y'all. I'm Carissa B, author of The Appointed Time and For Such a Time as This. You need to go out and get this book. This can help you on the journey, step by step. Go to Amazon and purchase one, and also go to Amazon Kindle and get one as well.
Detroit native, Ernest J. Lee, please tell us how you first got started in music.
Learning to ignite your faith every day.
Detroit native, Ernest J. Lee, please tell us how you first got started in music.
Well, I am a true believer in everything being on purpose and in God's timing. So one day I was at prayer with my mom, and the service got going, and there was no musician there. So she kind of nudged me to go up and help them out with the song. So I kind of went up and helped them out with the song. And like I said, the rest is history. I began to be the main guy. I was around 11 or 12 years old then. And from there, our church grew. So did my musical appetite and talent.
Kingdom builders, welcome to Life Talk TV show. Learning to ignite your faith every day. Welcome. Listen, I am super duper excited about today's fellowship. Let me look. I got to put my glasses on. Make sure the mic is working. Okay. It's on. Okay, y'all. Listen, like I said, I'm excited about today. All I can tell you is this: the only hint I'm going to give you is Mr. Producer is in the house today. Listen, I want to thank y'all for coming in. Y'all need to stay here, keep it locked, because we're going to be in fellowship with the man of God that has done so much in the industry, and now had a pleasure and opportunity to be able to fellowship with them. Now, this man of God. Let me put my glasses on, y'all. Y'all got to see what y'all got to see. Now let me put my glasses on so I can see y'all. Listen, this man of God is a producer, a songwriter, an artist, and a clinical. I hope I said that right. I'm gonna ask him what that is. I've never heard of that. So we're gonna definitely find out something new today. He resides in Atlanta, Georgia. He's from Detroit, y'all. Okay, Detroit, Michigan. He's from there, and we're gonna find some interesting facts about Detroit. I heard so much. There's a lot of people coming from Detroit. I don't know, either Texas or Detroit. You know, some part of Texas or Detroit, and I say Detroit because Michigan, but they literally say I'm from Detroit. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Ernest J. Lee. Let's welcome Lily in my house. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to you, and welcome to me, and welcome to the Holy Spirit. No, what up, though? How you doing?
Listen, first of all,
hey, you gotta welcome him in. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah, so, all the time, all the time. Lord, we just welcome you in the name of what? Jesus. All right, now. I'm
churching for no reason. But it's all
I'm super excited. I feel like I'm going to cut up today. I mean, this is the hour that I normally cut up because my body's like dying, going down. But I'm gonna try to be good. Okay, I'm gonna try to be good.
It's all good.
Try to be good. Now, you have a lot of gifts and talents on your mantle.
Yes.
And one of them, I was like, I know I'm saying it wrong. So I know I want you to correct me and tell me about that. But what I want to first do is get into production. Production is what I want to get into because that was the first thing on your bio. So I want to get into production. When'd you get started into production?
I started writing songs around 13 or 14 years old. Of course, just for me, and just I've always been a musical kid. My mom or dad does not play instruments, but they were we were a musical house. So my dad used to have the hi-fi playing all the 70s music, and the James Browns, the Dramatics, and Whispers, and, things like that. So my mom, she did do a little background singing in her day when the Motown thing got started, but she never was a professional. But they had a little group. So that's not that's just a little. So I'm saying all to say, some people say, okay, they father was a musician and their mama was a singer. I don't have that testimony. My testimony is not even trying to be deep. It really came from God. From as far as I know, you know what I'm saying. I started playing drums, and again I started playing keyboard, and then I started writing, and then of course it went into production. So I think around 98 or 99 I got my first keyboard and what you call a drum machine, MPC drum machine, and I started just making my own little songs. I remember this though. I was playing for a church in 90. Oh, I go back. I'm aging myself. But in 95 and 96, I was playing for a church in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They would
Right.
fly me in every week, and I'm not saying it to be grand. I'm serious. They would fly me in every week, but the point is, I didn't have equipment at home. So I
Mhm.
remember some days I would stay there an extra day
Uh-huh.
because the guy, my partner, he was from Detroit. He had a keyboard and he had like these things. I would be wanting to write my little songs there. That just popped in my head. I didn't even say that to nobody in a long time. I remember that though. He had a keyboard, and so I
Right.
would record my stuff there and then bring it back home and kind of perfect it. So I just had the itch from then from the start just to do my own production and know how to write and produce and mix and all that kind of stuff. I started back then, so it has afforded me great opportunity. So here we are right now.
Right. I tell you what, the first time I got to engage with production, of course, was at our local church. But like professional production is when me and my sisters went into the studio. The first time we ever went to the studio, we were like, "Wow, this is so cool! Look at this!" And then he's like, "Are y'all ready to sing?" I said, "Okay, what we got to do?" Because we have never been. I mean, we church girls. We just
Right,
sung. Dad, you gonna sing? You get up there
right,
and sing, and then we
right.
transition into being national recorded artists. Never been in the studio. And when we went into the studio, I was like, man, this is so cool.
Yes.
But as with the time we sat there, like we would sit there and watch the producer do everything. Like
Hmm.
literally, we'll go in and do what we have to do, and we'll watch them do work with the live musicians and everything. And I was
Yes.
like, man, they put so much work into what they do. I mean,
Yes.
we doing ain't nothing. You tell us to sing in C sharp, or we practice a song outside. We come in, lay the tracks, and y'all do everything else.
Yes.
You
It's a
dub on
lot.
some of it. You be like, do it again. Try to do it again.
Hmm.
That's it.
It's
But
a lot.
it's a lot.
But
And
thank God that He puts you around people that can help you. Like I mentioned in the intro that being in that in from Detroit, it is a hotbed of singers. So in my day, you had Twiggy Clark, Michael Brooks, all these were people. She
yeah,
was writing for the Clarks, Michael Brooks for commission. Um, Fred, of course, Fred and Vicky Wine. Sorry, not Vanessa Bell Armstrong. I remember being around them, and just a couple of people in my group sang with
right.
those people. So just seeing them behind the scenes, I think helps with production too. Even though you're not producing them, but
Right.
seeing how they put their stuff together, how they get their sets together, how they put their backgrounds together. A lot of times you can't. God will give you bits and pieces of it as you go. So I just remember being in those like spaces of rehearsal with Vanessa and getting ready to go sing and seeing how she did her work to sing and seeing how
Yeah.
Mitchell Jones from Commission. I was with him when they wrote Dare to Believe, and seeing how he was teaching the group parts and stuff like that. Those things matter. And
Yeah.
when you talk about production and how you put stuff together when you actually are actually in the seat producing.
That's
So I
true.
think out of those experiences too, because they will teach you, the right way. And everybody won't get a chance to go into those things with people like that.
I
But
mean,
at the end of the day, you can't study. The Bible says study to show yourself approved, but it's not just
yeah.
talking about. I don't just take it for being a preacher and preaching. It's in life. If you want to be anything, if you want to be an accountant, you got to study what accountants do. If you want to
Yeah.
be a carpenter, you got to study what carpenters do. You got to know what wood to use, what hammer to use. It
Yeah.
matters. So
Yeah.
production is no different. You got to know what to do and when to do it, so you can come with that great production at the end.
Yeah, and like I said, for me, I learned a lot. The guy, thank God placed us with the right person. You're right; it does matter. The right person does matter. It really does. And he was so kind and everything else. He didn't make you feel like it was a studio uh recording. He's like, okay, see this like you were singing in church,
Yeah,
and let us figure. We'll work it. We'll do everything else. And I said, for
yeah,
real? Because the
yeah,
first producer we had, my goodness, he was like, okay, you see, I want you to do tenor. I said, but I'm not a tenor. I want you to do tenor. This is tenor. I mean, he had me in baritone. I was like, Lord have mercy. I'm not a baritone. And and he would like make us do stuff that we just wasn't comfortable with being from a church, then
yeah.
going into a studio.
Mhm.
It's totally, to me, it's just totally
Well,
different.
it is different. I think a lot of people don't realize that, and I don't say this to disparage anyone from being a singer or trying to be a singer or
Right.
aspiring to be one, but because you're your star solos at your church doesn't mean you're going to be a great solo artist
Right.
or it's a totally different thing. And it's just unfortunate that people don't realize that sometimes they waste a lot of money trying to do something that God never called them to do. It's perfectly okay to be faithful to your church and be that singer at church that God gets the glory of. But it's
Yeah.
also good if He really gives you the mandate to be an artist, to go out
Yeah.
there and actually be produced. Because sometimes you get the hype at church and people are like, oh, you can sing. Then when you get in the studio, you getting mad at the producer for telling you this wrong. But it's two different things. I mean, you got to understand it's not about the church. The church is the spirit and it's freedom. In the studio, we're trying to make a record for people to buy. So that's a
Right.
totally different mindset.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So, for you engaging in production and moving into songwriting, what led you to go into songwriting? Is that was something that was just very natural? Are you like,
Yeah.
hey, I hear sounds, let me see if I can write something as well?
Well, it goes back to what a lot of people have traumatic childhoods or things like that. I can't say mine was traumatic, but there were certain things going on around me that caused me to write. And I think my mom was a natural writer. My dad was a natural writer. Not
Right,
songs per se, just writing things. I mean, uh, they were very astute at writing. So I think it's just kind of natural for me to write. I mean, I would write my thoughts down. So when it became time to write songs, I can write songs right off the cuff. I just can, and that's not, again, it's not an arrogant thing. It's just that's a gift. So
right,
I know where that's comes from. It's not anything nobody taught me. So I
right.
just knew from then. I would just write. I look at something and write it. Because my greatest thing is right. I always say this: you have songwriters, then you have song creators or content
Yeah,
creators, as we call it in
right.
today's thing. But I love my best writing is when you tell me I'm writing for a jingle or a commercial. You
Right.
know, those I create. I know how to create the sound for that, and I think that's what my greatest thing is to be beyond just music. I mean, just writing songs for music. I like creating movements and sounds and things like that. So it's
Right.
not.
Wow. I tell you what, as we're navigating to the next question I have, when with production and songwriting, and being in the church, when did you know that you wanted to these gifts that you had and these talents you had, you wanted to, for God I live and this is gonna be for God. When did you know that?
Because I'm not really a singer. I never really aspired to be. I didn't even think that far ahead. I'm not think. I think, honest to God, that's probably the same mindset I have now.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I just don't. I don't get caught up in what it's gonna be, and I'm gonna get this, and people gonna call my name. I never. For me, I just want to always do it genuinely, and so I would see, the choir would write original stuff for the choir because again, my church did not do a lot of people's songs, so I would write. That was my guinea pigs. I practiced. I would practice on the choir at church because I was so young over them. So I
Right,
was like, we was doing original stuff when I was 14, 15 years old. We was doing my original songs
right.
mixed in with what was going on in the on the radio. But I just think the need for the personal experience, writing your personal experience, I think is part of your testimony. So for me,
Yeah,
it's writing has always been an outlet, but it's also a way to express what you've been through, what you're going through, or what you see in the world.
right. I had a question for you when you were talking, and this is what I ask all musicians. My brother, he's a musician. I mean, he just start picking up instruments.
Hmm.
What, if you only could pick one instrument and you,
Hmm.
you couldn't, that's it. One instrument that you like, they were like, hey, we're gonna do a jam session. You gotta do one instrument. What would you pick and why?
Oh man, it's the organ probably. I know piano and it's synonymous, but organ, I think I like because see for me, as I've gotten older, more mature in this thing, I don't have to be out front. So the organ to me is the pad, it's the foundation,
Uh-huh.
it puts all the glue together. So for me, I like organ. Organ would be my one.
Do you think was it hard to learn the organ or
Mm-mm.
was it easy?
Well, I was forced to learn it because I had to I had to learn on the fly because I was in the seat early. So no, I Oregon was cool for me because, and then again, another story is my administrator, well, not my administrator, church administrator was one of my personal friends of the
Uh,
family. When I was 15, 16, he came to the church. I think that was like 88, and he was Dr. Manny Moses Clark's administrator for the Southeast jurisdictional choir, I think it was called.
uh,
And so I said all to say he would take me down to the conservatory, which is the Clark Sisters famed conservatory, the Clark Conservatory. So we could not afford lessons for me. My we just couldn't afford no piano lessons. So I
wow.
never take a lesson. But this the thing, Twinkie, bless her heart, she would let me sit outside her door while she was teaching,
Wow.
and I would hear her teaching parts and stuff on organ, and that's how I developed my ear to be so strong to learn on the fly like that. I
Uh,
would those were 30 minutes. I would be down there with Keith, and his name was Keith Johnson. I'd be down there with Keith, and I'd be listening so hard because you gonna get a chance to hear Twinkie Clark
right.
and right next to you in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like so, God has always put me in place to catch
Wow.
those lessons like that. So I just believe that that's how you develop. God puts you around the people that you need and gonna need. And to this day, she's my musical mentor when it comes to just how she wrote way back before her time. She was before her time.
Wow. So that goes into the artistry part of what you do. The sound that you release. What tell us more about the sound that you released so far.
As you mean in songwriting or my personal sound, you say?
Your personal sound.
Okay. Well, again, I have never tried to be anyone but me. Of course, we are always influenced by what we hear. So I do remember when my group got signed. I had a group called Spirit of David from '96 to about 2008, around in there. We got signed to Malico in 2001, and I remember that's when Kirk Franklin was at. He had took the world by storm already. So I do remember trying to
Yeah.
mimic some of the stuff that they were doing, as far as like just the arrangements and the unison stuff, and it,
Right.
it worked. But I also remember my label coming to tell me, "Hey, we don't want another song like Revolution." Just say,
Right.
because that was I remember that was hot at the time with the time frame I'm talking about, and
Well,
that taught me in that moment that it's not that they didn't like, they wanted me to be me, and I think that coming from the outside taught me, hey, just stay in your lane. You don't have to sound like everybody else. So my sound is mine. I do think I do have a distinctive sound production wise. I do have a distinctive sound when it comes to
right.
how I write, how I arrange, and I think that that's what God gives you, and you have to be comfortable with being in your own skin, because
That's true.
my fruit is not going to look like nobody else's fruit.
Right.
Your fruit not going to look like another talk show's fruit. Your
Right.
fruit is going to look like what God has ordained for you, and we
Right.
have to be okay with that. That it's okay to be you.
Yeah.
So I think my
Yeah.
sound is very unique, but it's me. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
of course though, we are influenced by what we hear now. I'm not saying
Right.
like, oh, I just got this
Right.
sound from heaven. I'm
No,
not
I
saying
got what
that.
you're saying.
My
Right.
point is we don't pattern or mimic that. You just take a little bit of it, and you combine it with what you do. And I think
Right.
that's how you learn.
I totally agree with you with that when especially with artistry, because I know when me and my sisters came out, literally they said sisters wearing the same color. Oh, y'all quartet. We were looking like
Oh yeah.
no. And
Mhm.
although we started off that way because my dad, he was into quartet, that was something that we just didn't desire. We had too many sounds going on. There was just too
Mhm.
many sounds. Like one of my sisters was very operatic. Then the
Mhm.
other one was she could do a little country. Then the
Mhm.
other one, like I was more praise and worshipy. And then the
Okay.
other one was like traditional. So for
Mhm.
us to just stick with strictly just traditional, our quartet sound, it
Mhm.
just it didn't do nothing for us. And
Yeah.
so navigating, I got what you're saying. You got to just be who God called you to be and embrace it, and just kind of take, like you said, those elements. If you see something that you want to bring to us, one of your sounds, say, I
Right.
like this sound, but I got to still be me in that.
Right. Exactly.
How can we present it? And that's
Mhm.
where the production, that's what I love about the production part, because when
Mhm.
we went into the studio, like I said, we were just church girls. And he was like,
Mhm.
and he said he'd been watching us for a while. And I was like, wait, how you know us when we don't know you?
Mhm.
But that's what production is. They'll listen and they'll be like, okay, this is where I can take this person.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so
That's
I
how it
think
goes.
production is a beautiful place to be when it comes to creating and releasing a sound. So for the viewers and listeners out there, for anybody that want to be in production, but also have other gifts besides that, what would you challenge them or tell them to do in at their earliest time in their career?
Be okay with rejection. Number one, be okay with nobody really celebrating you genuinely like that,
Right,
because at the end of the day, you have to be your own first cheerleader and your own believer in what God has given you. Because if
right,
you're going to do it for the applause, then you're going to be disappointed, because the applause will come and go. You have to understand that your sound is what God gave you, and it does
that's
not
true.
expire. The call in your life, the journey that God has given you does not expire, don't change. So first of all, you got to be sure that He called you to do it, and not
Yeah,
just doing it because it's popular. A lot of people just do something because they're talented to do it. I can hold the tune, but I'm not no solo singer. You know what I'm saying? And you have to
right,
realize that when you're doing this, what we call production and writing and being an artist, it's bigger than just, oh, because I can do it don't mean I'm the best at it. So
right,
I admonish people to be the best at what you do. So for me, I know my strong suit is writing, and now I do background great. I'm saying, but I'm not gonna be out front on everything trying to lead it, because that's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? But and you have to, as a producer, you have to understand, just because you can do something or you can make this sound a certain way doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to do with everybody.
right,
Like we've heard producers make certain people sound like them, and it's like, well, you producing basically a song for you. Like how? And I think and I know this is getting to murky waters, but I just think that we have to realize as producers, we're there to take that product and take it to the next level. So you have to start with self belief. You have to start with determination, knowing that if people don't
Right.
applaud me, God is applauding me. And then you also have to stay true to your sound. What is your sound? That's what you have to ask yourself. What is your sound? What am I trying to accomplish with this song? What am I trying to accomplish with this sound that I'm using right here? Am I doing it just because the last producer used it on the song and it sounded
Wow.
cool? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But so for me, I don't, I can play a whole lot of stuff, and I know um we that's not what you're saying, but follow how I'm gonna bring this back around.
Right.
When I hear a song today in today's music, it's great stuff. I'm not saying nothing negative at all, but sometimes it can get a lot busy, a lot of this and a lot of that, and I can do all that. But at the end of the day, that's not my sound. So why
Right.
am I trying to produce a song with all that in it? You see what I'm saying? Like it doesn't mean I can't do it, but that's how you have to learn discipline. Is what I'm saying. That's my point.
Right.
You have to be disciplined in who you are, because yeah, I can do a whole lot of that stuff that a lot of movements and stuff like that. Then a lot of people feel like everything is a praise and worship song. So
Right.
they gonna make everything a CCM style. Like you have to be versatile. You have to understand like everybody's not gonna be a praise and worship leader. So you have to learn
That's
how to
true.
produce other things.
That's
So
true.
you have to study again to show yourself improved when it comes to even producing. Don't just try to be what's hot right now.
Right.
Be consistent and let people understand that when they hear a song that Ernest J. Lee produced, then you probably know, yeah, that sound like he would do. Something he would do.
Right.
You hear Donald Lawrence song, that sounds like some Donald Lawrence.
Right.
You
Right.
hear a Kurt Carr song, but they don't try to make the people sound like them. Is my point. It's
That's
just
true.
their sound. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. So we're in 2025.
Mhm.
What is going on in your world? I on Facebook. You always on the airplane.
I was on the other day and got stuck, but that's another story. But I'm here today. I'm happy to be on the ground. I'm just playing. But man, I'm doing. I am in a partnership with Black Smoke Music Worldwide, which is Kerry Douglas. We have Hip Hop Boobly going off. That is a hip hop learning channel that they're learning, teaching people how to learn like the alphabets, the months, the things,
Right.
anything that's considered learning for the youth. And we're doing that. It's called Hip Hop Booth. That is popping off right now. Season 2 is getting ready to start. As a matter of fact, Zacardi Cortez just did a song with
Uh-huh.
the Hip Hop Boobly voices inquired, we calling it, but it's going. I can do anything. That's out on every streaming platform now. You'll kind of understand what I mean. It's taking hip hop music and making it palatable for the kids to learn educationally. So we're doing that. Of course, I'm bringing the world-renowned family back, formerly known as Kirk Franklin and the family. We're
Right.
working. That EP is actually done. We just had a listening session the other day.
Right.
With them. So that's done. I'm excited about that. This project is about to be bananas, man. Not because I wrote it, but because God has ordained it, and He has ordained
Yeah.
the reset. Meaning, this 30-year reset is not just in show. It's not just because they were somebody. They still are somebody, and
Right.
the world has to understand it again. God's plan, His assignment for you does not expire. So we're excited about bringing the family back to the mainstream. So me and Black Smoke, Kerry Douglas, we're doing that. We're going to do a couple videos before we drop the single. Single's coming out real soon within the next 60 days. You'll start seeing a lot of promo for the single. So we're excited about that. I have a book, project and book coming out. It's called Modern Day David. I went through a very traumatic experience a couple years back, about 4 or 5 years ago now, and you have to tell your story. The best thing you can do is tell your own story, not let people tell your story. So my story is coming, Modern Day David project book. Uh, we're just trying to do what we do, man. So I'm
Right.
going to release Keisha Grandy's, my wife's record, Reborn. We're going to bring that back out on the mainstream through Black Smoke. So there's a lot of things happening in
Right.
2025.
That's amazing. Like I said, we see y'all doing a lot of stuff. I was like,
Mhm.
they back on the airplane again. Lord have mercy. But I got it. I got it. In the world that you're doing, God has just got y'all very, very busy
Yes.
doing kingdom business. How can we get connected to you if we wanted to go into the studio, if you had time, if you
Yeah,
wanted
most
to do
definitely.
production?
I am always looking for clients. And my only prerequisite for clients to be serious and to understand that this business is not just to waste anyone's time, but it's my job to make your song and your vision, your project come to life. So if you aspiring artist out there and you want to actually do some real music, hey, we are accepting new clients.
Right.
We're always looking to do good kingdom music. So my website is Davis Dance Music, DAVIDS Dance Music.org. Oh, so no, it's not. I just changed it. I'm looking at my name on the screen. I'm tired. See, that's the. I told you I was on that plane, didn't I? It's
Yeah.
Davis Dance Music 1 is my email. Sorry. Davis Dance Music 1 at Gmail is my email. Davis Dance Music 1 at Gmail is my email. My website is www.ernestjleemusic.org. Ernestjleemusic.org. You can get in touch with me any of those places, and we would set up a consultation with you to see what you got going on. But we are accepting new clients, and hey, let's get it rolling, man. Let's do this.
Awesome. Listen, I want to thank you so much. I knew you were super busy. I knew it. So I
It's
was
all
like,
good.
I'm gonna keep it short.
No, you good. It's all good.
And I just want to thank you so much for what you're doing for the kingdom. Y'all
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
some amazing things over there. Keep rocking God the way that God's telling you to rock it. Don't change.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
you said, don't change for anybody. I
Yes,
want to thank
ma'am.
you so much for, like I said, just pouring into like what I see. Especially for the family, which it takes a tremendous person to go and carry such a mandate. That's a
Oh my God.
massive weight. And
Yes.
I just want to say thank you so much for doing that, because everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves a platform. And
Yes.
the thing about it is there's seasons for everything. And you're like, okay, this is the season that we're going to
Yes.
release, that God is not
Mhm.
done with them yet. So
And
thank you so much.
I just want to say this, for those that are skeptical about it, listen. Let me say this about this. I'm gonna say this in 30 seconds or less.
Okay.
Remember this: the sound. The Bible says, "He does it. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the church."
Right.
Let's take that in today's thing. So, what is the sound that's going out? We got so much stuff going on in the world.
That's
We got
true.
so many people don't know what to do. There was a sound that was created way back in the 90s, and it was a sound
Yeah.
that has gotten lost. It's not about a group. It's not about a personality, but it's
That's
a
true.
sound. Well,
Yeah.
we can bring that sound back. That's all I can say right now. That
I'm
sound is coming back.
I'm excited about it. I really am. And like I said, I want to thank you so much for the fellowship. Like I said, I knew you were busy, but I was like, I got it. The Lord told me to reach out, and I was like, I got to get it in. So
Yes.
we'll get it in, and fellowship and everything else. May God continue to bless you. May
Thank
He
you.
continue
Likewise.
the provisions and the favor that you're needing for every season that you're about to walk in, and even the ones that you're in now, that He give you the strength to be able to carry the mandate that He's told you to carry in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus, I receive it, prophet. Yes, ma'am.
Listen, I want to tell you thank you so much. And until next time, listeners, we have to go. I don't know why people think they book back to back, like I'm supposed to just hop on one to hop on to another one. But that is what happened. I thank God for the time that I did get to fellowship you. I know there's going to be more. We met last year at the Jacqueline Carr concert.
Yes.
We win, and we've been in fellowship before. So,
anytime, just let me know. I got you. I can always carve out people time for my friends. I got you. We good. I love you and Big Ben.
All right, love you too. Until next time, listeners. God bless.
God bless.
All right.